Today it's 32 is going to be the high, 91% humidity, and bright blue skies. Machinery, you know, I've said it before, I'm not mechanically inclined by nature. I've had to learn everything the hard way usually. That was hairy, nerve-wracking. Didn't like doing it. Today is about clearing about 3 or 4 trees that are standing in the space where the house will sit. In addition to overhanging the space of the future, roof of the house, they are in an area where I need the excavator to be when I'm actually in construction mode. So I need to have the excavator over on that side of the house once we get the foundation built and the structure going up. So have to move them, get them out of there. These 4 or 5 trees are all growing in the root ball of a pine tree that toppled over, I don't know, some decades ago, 40, 50 years ago. So they're not on terribly stable ground. They've grown massive, but they're not terribly stable. And when they do get, too mature, then they'll come down. And I don't want them coming down on my house. So they're coming down now. They are. You can see that they are pretty big. They're about 4 or 5 stories tall right now, the biggest one. So I'm going to bring them down. I don't know if I'm going to limb them today and clean them out of the area. I'm just going to bring them down as my goal right now. Holy shit. Okay, that was quick and dirty. Literally dirty. Slippery. Working in the rain, working in the mud is no fun at all. But I've got them down now. I've got to clear out the stumps. And definitely not doing that today. Probably it won't be done for a while. Clear out the stumps, clear out the cut trees, and then start working on forms. Everything up till now has been odd jobs. Of course, I've been clearing the mountain, practicing my timber framing skills on the tiny house, making roads to get up here, learning how to use my equipment. All that's very important, but it takes a backseat to actual house construction. And the first part of house construction is foundation. So here on out, everything I do should be focused on foundation. When I mentioned earlier this root ball, look at this. It's got one. This is the main one that fell down. Come on. This is the main one that toppled over, that everything else grew out of. That one looks like it's one of the pups from this one. And look at how big it is. So it's probably been growing for 40 years, which means this thing fell over 40 years ago. And then we got this one staring straight at the camera. And then we got that one on top of it, and there are several more little ones. There is a whole mess of root balls in here. Okay, there's a couple of things that are making this harder than it would appear. One is the heat. Yesterday was cloudy, so there was some reprieve. Today it's 32 is going to be the high, 91% humidity, and bright blue skies, which means baking sun overhead. The second thing is I've made a mess. You know, this is, in order to get the trunks of the trees that I felled, after I've limbed them, I need the excavator up here. I was thinking of using the winch yesterday, but there doesn't seem to be a real effective place to run the line. So I want to get the excavator up here, but I made a mess, and the excavator can't get through here till I get rid of this mess. So the idea is to get rid of all the salvageable wood, and then when that's out of here, I can just kind of use the excavator and just push all of the bramble, you know, to the side here, and essentially just get it out of the way of the excavator. A task that I have to do, first of all, in order to get the excavator up there to help me with the tree trunks, is clean up the path. I've got sawhorses and lumber and stuff lying around, so I got to clean this up and make a path. Well, I've changed my gloves, put on my thick leathers, which are warm as heck, but they will protect me from the spikes and spines and thorns on these tree trunks. And let's just start muscling some of this wood around. Okay, I've moved the biggest logs, the logs I'll save for firewood, over, and now I've got to get this pile of bramble out of the way. I got stuck yesterday. I wanted to collect a lot of the mess that I had made in my foundation area, my future foundation area, but the mini dump spark plugs are coated in oil, so they won't catch a spark and the engine won't turn over. I didn't have my tools because they were in the other truck, so I've got the tools today. I'll take care of that today. But I was still able to get a lot done yesterday. I just moved the wood out of my way, got the excavator in there, and finished up the job. Finished up the job of clearing the fallen trees and limbs, etc., out of the slope. Then we're left with a mass, a monstrous mass of stumps. There's at least 4 stumps all intertwined into the root ball of the original fallen tree that is the cause of this whole mess of trees in that location. So that brings us to today. The excavator has been working flawlessly, although yesterday I noticed the right track is too loose. So I may spend just a couple of minutes trying to get some more grease into that and tensioning up the right track on the excavator. I think we can see that that track is really nice and straight. It might even be too tight. But this one's like a camelback. It's got a hump in the middle at the roller and then two dips where it's just too slack. It doesn't make any sense to be working right in this direct heat. I'm going to move it over into the shade by the tiny house. Standard deflection A should be 5 to 15 mil, so maximum half an inch. No. That's over an inch. Okay, you are absolutely where you need to be, and you are tight. Well, that took a lot longer than expected. Less than an hour, so I shouldn't be troubled. Machinery, you know, I've said it before, I'm not mechanically inclined by nature. I've had to learn everything the hard way usually. And it just takes so much time out of the day when you could be doing productive things. It's maintenance and it's important, I get it. Okay, my rant is over, my vent is over, I'm okay now. It's just hot. That was hairy, nerve-wracking. Didn't like doing it. Had to do it. Didn't like doing it. Well, I made it as far as I wanted to go. This was a really nerve-wracking cut for a number of reasons. The main one being it's so darn steep on the what would be the fill side. But I needed to get over here in order to get these stumps out. Now I can start working on them. You can see that I added a kind of a safety line. I hooked it to a slip fitting on the Jumbo. The idea was if the Jumbo started to tip, it would catch and hold it and it wouldn't tip and roll down the mountain. Because if it rolled down this mountain, ew, wow. Don't even want to think about it. I am cooking hot right now. The Jumbo's done its job. It's been running for well over an hour steady, and it's in shade right now, so give it a little bit of a rest. Good girl. Let's go to some of this. And I think it's time for me to take a break anyway, go get water. I haven't checked the clock yet, so it might be lunchtime. This stump business is not getting the best of me, but we're coming to a compromise. I'm going to leave the big stump in the dirt, and that'll be just this part right here, and the root ball, whatever sticks up I can chainsaw out probably. This guy I'm going to take down as far as possible, and that one up there I'll be able to pluck out if I cut off a couple of the grounding roots. It has been a hell of a day and a hell of a weekend. I started out wanting to cut down a few trees and ended up making a full kind of working area on the far side of the house, which is going to be critical when we're standing up the tall timbers. I made a bit of a mess on the slope, but this is an unused part of the land, so that is what it is. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just so tired. Thanks for hanging around. I'm going to go home and have a bath.